Springbok season is upon us. I can't wait to see the Boks run out against the Barbarians in Cape Town this weekend. And Rassie Erasmus has selected an exciting match day 23. 3 debutants for this match day 23. And so some interesting selections. It's exciting time. There's a real expectation building as the Boks are building towards their three-peat, going for a third consecutive World Cup. Man, that'll be something. That'll be history. And there's a real excitement building. And I can't wait to see what the Boks dish up. Tony Brown settled down nicely. Felix Jones is back. And who knows, there might be a surprise around the corner with Nienaber, Jacques Nienaber, linking back up with the Boks. I heard some rumors. Who knows if that's true or not. But there's a genuine excitement building around the Springboks and the history that they are chasing. Let's look at the match day 23 that's going to face the Barbarians. At the back, Apelele Fassi, no surprise there. He's the fullback in the pound seat at the moment. Rassie will take Willie Leroux to his 100 caps probably this year. But you got to feel that Fassie's the man that he's taking to the next World Cup. And so Willie will get to 100, but that'll be more sentimental than building for the future or anything else. Fassie is the man at the moment, the man at the back, and no surprise there. Colby, what a legend. As Erasmus said, if they're the best now, they're going to play now. You can't just perennially just keep building for the future. And so Colby's still the best wing in the world. And so he's there. Jesse Kriel and Damian Delende, our Japanese centre pairing, they are settled. They are still at the top of the pecking order for the Boks, and so settled centre combination. Kurtley Arendse, he's the other wing in the pound seat, and that's an exciting backline, exciting outside backs with Sasha being the pivot for the weekend. That's very interesting. I mean, Sasha is such a gifted player, and I'm really excited to see what he does. Again this year, given another shot after his injury, cut the last Springbok campaign short a bit for him. But great to see Sasha back there. And then a little bit of a surprise, Morne van der Berg, Krappies, he's a scrum half. And so Rassie released Jaden Hendrikse, both Hendrikse brothers were released, but specifically Jaden. And so very interesting to see what he does with the scrum halves. Reinach on the bench, a very experienced scrum half on the bench. But Krappies and Sasha, that could be a real exciting halfback pairing to youngsters, very exciting players, and it'll be very interesting to see what they dish up on Saturday. Obviously, Pollard wasn't considered because he came back late from England. So Pollard, the Bulls, and the guys from Leinster, they weren't really considered, and probably Thomas de Toey as well because they were involved with the Premiership. So those guys would have arrived late at the training camp, and so not considered. Only one guy from those group of players made this 23 squad, and that's Jan-Hendrik Wessels, and that's probably because we have a bit of a shortage at loose-head prop at the moment with all the injuries. And so, interesting halfback pairing. Looking at the pack of forwards, we've got Jean-Luc du Preez. Now, I'm happy for a couple guys that have made this team, but I don't think I'm happier for anyone. I'm more happy for anyone than I am for Jean-Luc du Preez. This guy's been at so many alignment camps, so many training camps, and he's played so little for the Springboks. And so he's been faithful. He's been there every time Rassie's called on his number. He's been there. He's jumped on a plane. He's held tackle bags. He's helped the starting lineup prepare, and he just hasn't been playing. And so I'm so stoked to see him get another shot in the green and gold. I rate him. He's a fantastic player, as are his brothers, especially Dan du Preez as well. But Jean-Luc du Preez, I'm super stoked for him. He's been a faithful, loyal servant for South African rugby, even though there have been guys, really strong players of him. He's been there when they needed him for the training camps. And so I'm really happy for Jean-Luc du Preez, and I hope he has a stormer of a game. Vincent Chuka finally sorted out the passport issues. He's getting his start for the Springboks, and so he's had a great season. I rate him, and his brother Manny as well, two very talented loose forwards. Sia Kolisi, captain on the side there. He's playing 6 and not 8, and so Rassie said that he's going to look at him predominantly as a number 6. So good to see Sia back there. He's been playing good rugby for the Sharks. He's getting on in the years, but he's had a good season, and so good to see Sia back there. Two guys in the locks, Loot de Jager, John Klein. That's interesting. So maybe Evan isn't 100% yet. I mean, he picked up before the URC semi-final. Another knock in training for the Sharks, and so who knows? Maybe Rassie just wants to give him just a little bit more time to recoup and recover and get ready. It's going to be a big international season. 2 tests in New Zealand, We've got the Irish in Ireland. We've got France. For the first time, we're playing them in France again. And so a big year ahead. So maybe he's just keeping Eben back a bit for some of those really big games that are lying ahead. So good to see Loet de Jager back after his injuries and health concerns. And so good. That's a great lock break. South Africans are so blessed. We got so many great locks. And interesting front row. Klabakanye, the big man, Asanati. He's making his debut for the Boks on Saturday. The entertainer. I like this guy. He's a character. And I hope he gets to put in his trademark big hits and big carries. It'll be interesting to see how he goes in the scrums as well. That's the one area where I feel he's got a bit of work to do. I did see him get folded a time or two at scrum time. So obviously he's rubbing shoulders with the likes of Ox and Che and other great tight heads like Neetling Forshia and Wilco and those boys at Springbok training. And under the tutelage of Dan Iman. So maybe they can take his scrummaging to the next level. But interesting and exciting prospect, Asanati Klabakane. I'm excited to see him ever go there. Malcolm Marks, great hooker, best hooker in the world. Good to see him get a start for the Boks. Oxenche, most dominant loose heads prop I've ever seen play. So hopefully Ox will regain some of the dominant form. The Sharks pack didn't always dominate at scrum time as they would have liked to. So it'll be good to see Ox again scrummaging with some other Springboks in a Springbok pack, and to see him get back to his most dominant form. But I love that front row. Very interesting. That's a big front row. That's a heavy front row. I wonder what the weight would be. Put it in the comments. What's the combined weight of this front row? That's a big front row. Then looking at the bench, another debutant, Marnus van der Merwe from Bloemfontein to Wales, and now he's being picked up by the Springbok selectors, and he's going to make his debut likely on Saturday against the Barbarians. So happy for him, Marnus van der Merwe. We got a lot of good hookers in this country as well and available to us. So Rassie and them obviously see a lot of potential in Marnus van der Merwe, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes in a quality pack with quality players around him. Jan-Hendrik Wessels on the bench. No surprise there. He's the one Bulls player, as I mentioned earlier, that's been pulled up because we've got a bit of a loose head prop crisis at the moment with a couple injuries, and then obviously guys like Thomas de Toey still coming back late from the Premiership final, not available, and or just not having trained enough for the Boks. So Jan-Hendrik Wessels gets pulled in. Neetling Forshia, great tight prop. I think Neetling Forshia is probably the second best scrummaging tight prop available to us at the moment, behind Wilco Louw. And so I rate Neetling Forshia. He's really a world-class, wily technician in the scrums, and it's good to see him get some game time for the Springboks as well. Franco Mostert, Sous, no surprise there. Kwagga Smith, these guys are going to bring some energy and some impact off the bench. Kobus Reinach, very experienced player, 39 caps for the Boks, and it's great to see Kobus still involved with the Springboks, and he's coming back to South Africa, linking up with the Stormers, so that'll be good to see. You know, and the Stormers play a great brand of running rugby, and Reinach with his renowned speed, that'll be good to see what he can dish up in the Cape. Anyway, great to see Reinach back. Marnie Lebok, some people thought that Marnie was done and that he wasn't going to feature again for the Springboks. To be honest, I thought he might not get another look in soon, and so I'm surprised to see Marnie in there. Surprised to see Jordan, given the boot, and so that's still interesting. Marnie Lebok, maybe this is the type of game that would really suit him if it opens up. Although I think the Springboks will do well and will probably try to keep this game more structured and a bit tighter, and not to make it into a loose sevens affair against these Barbarians. Anyway, Marnie's back, he's on the bench, and then Andre, the giant Esterhuizen, he's going to provide some muscle and some real go forward off the bench. He's had a great season. He's been, I haven't seen much of the Alendi, in the Japanese league, but Andre Esterhuizen, he's had as good a season as he's probably ever had, and he's been fantastic for the Sharks. And you can see the Sharks are a different team when he's not playing for them. So he's been brilliant, and I'm glad to see him get another cap. He'll definitely come off the bench, and so it's going to be a fantastic game. Just some interesting stats around the Springboks versus the Barbarians. I didn't actually know this, but we've played them 8 times and they've beaten us more than we've beaten them. We've only beaten the Barbarians 3 times. They've beaten us 4 times, and there was 1 draw as well. And so that's a surprise. I didn't know that. And so the Springboks will want to get one back. They will want to level the scores a little bit. And I think there's only one country in the world that have got a better winning percentage against us, that have beaten us more than we've beaten them, and that's the All Blacks. And we can sort of accept that and stomach that a little bit to an extent. But we don't want any other team to have that kind of bragging rights over us. And so the Springboks will want to set that straight on the weekend. And this Barbarians team haven't pulled in all their players yet. There's still a few more coming, but so far they've got Kian Healy, Will Collier, Hassan Collinger, Paul Alo Emil, Camille Chat, Frenchman John Ricky Riccatelli, getting some All Blacks in there, some New Zealand flavour, David Ribbons, some South African English flavour, and then Ruben van Heerden, former under-20 Springbok, good up-and-coming young lock, and then Jos Beer, Oscar Sotutu, Peter O'Mani, Sam Kane, Shannon Frizzell, Lachlan Boschia. And so it'll be really good to see Peter O'Mani and Sam Kane in the same loose trio, you know. The shit Richie McCaw, you know, playing alongside. What can we say about O'Mani? I don't know. Maybe O'Mani's he's a shit Jerome Kane. I don't know. But the two of them, you know, they've got a bit of a history now playing in the same team. So that's actually great to see. That's just what's fantastic about rugby is guys can be like the biggest of enemies and opponents on the field, and then rugby sort of just brings it together, and they can be friends afterwards, have a couple of beers together and play in the same team, you know, and put everything aside. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm very interested to see Peter O'Mani and Sam Kane have a game together. Looking at the back line, Tauro Kabalo, he's a great scrum off, and he's been so good for La Rochelle the last few years. He was one of the smarter players back in Super Rugby. I remember him playing for the Chiefs and just being a real smart player. And so he's in there. Santiago Arata Peroni from Cast, and then Melvin Jamine, Josh Jackham, Peter Umaga Jensen, Lester Fainganuku, Mark Talia. Great to see him back in South Africa. And I wonder if the All Blacks are not trying to get this guy back involved. He was not, you know, he wasn't at the end of his career. Maybe he left a bit too soon, but he's a fantastic player, Mark Talia. That guy is like an eel. You just can't get a hold of him. He's such a slippery winger. And so it'll be good to see Mark Talia back in South Africa. He's half South African anyway, so he's a bit at home away from home in Cape Town. And so great to see Mark Talia back in there. And then Jacob Ratumai Tavuki Nipkins, yeah, that's an interesting name. That's a mouthful. I'll be honest, some of these guys, I have no clue who they are, and I haven't seen them play. And so, interesting. I know Robbie Deans will know exactly who these guys are and how to put them together in a team. Joe Marchand, English player, now playing in France. Great to see him get a run from this team. And so, that's not the full squad. They're going to add a couple more guys. It'll be interesting to see who Robbie Deans puts out as a starting 15. And it'll be interesting to see what they dish up on Saturday. I've no doubt that Robbie Deans will have a couple of tricks up his sleeve, and they're going to come and be creative and look to really test the Springboks. And so I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be a good one. And put your predictions in the comments, guys. What do you think the score will be? Who's going to win this game? Can the Springboks level up the wins against the Barbarians, or are the Barbarians going to just increase their lead over the Springboks? Have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy the rugby. Cheers.